Hey guys, welcome back to Tomatoes, Poppies, and Everything Gardening. I'm Heather. I'm coming to you from Central Virginia, Zone 7B to 8. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite plants. It is called African Blue Basil. And this little specimen here looks very sad and very much on the verge of dying. And it is. And I'll tell you why. So this plant, look at those poor grapes. It is a hybrid that is sterile, and so I cannot save the seeds from it. It has to be propagated by cutting, and I have been keeping this plant since 2021. I bought the first plant, I think it was early April 2021. I was at a local farm. They had a little greenhouse, and the lady was growing, I saw all these pots of this kind of different colored basil, and it was flowering so little. It's little plants that are flowering. I remember thinking, should that basil be flowering, this early? That seems kind of maybe something I don't want to take home with me. But the lady talked me into it, and I took one plant home, planted it, and it grew, and it became just glorious, so beautiful, huge. Some years my plants will get probably 6 foot by 5 foot from one little cutting. So every year in October, late October, before the first frost, I take cuttings, and between myself and my friend Ivy, who I think last year gave me cuttings because mine did not survive, I'm hoping hers did this year, because ours may not have this year. But we're going to work on that. Anyways, that is how I've kept this plant in my garden for the last 4 years. It's definitely a keeper. I'm going to put a clip right here. See, it's just a beautiful, beautiful plant. The pollinators, especially the bees, love it. I've seen lots of honeybees on it, other types of bees. So this is where I'm at right now. I've got these cuttings, and the last time I looked at them, the roots looked beautiful and they were white. Now they're black. So I think what happened, my cup dried out of water, and it's all my fault. I feel really bad about this, but I'm going to try to fix the situation. So I've got these little pots. I've got some seed starting soil. I don't want to give them a lot of nutrition because this plant gets huge really fast. And I've still got probably about maybe a month before I would be willing to put these guys outside. So I don't want them to take off and grow exponentially. I'm actually thinking, with the condition of these roots, we may actually have to do some salvaging and maybe go ahead and cut these again and let them root again and water or root in the soil, which is what I might do. Because the farther down you go, the darker the stem gets, and then the roots aren't looking the best. This one I can probably salvage, but this one, poor thing, look at that. I mean, it's just like black stem, black roots. I'm going to say this guy probably isn't going to make it. So I do still see some coloring here on the top. I think I will cut it here where there's a leaf node, put this in water, and see what happens. But I think we can at least save maybe 1 or 2. I think this guy is savable. This guy, maybe not. Maybe not. And then I've also got a little rosemary in here. His roots are starting to get kind of dark too. It's time for him to get outside. I mean, there is no point in him even being in the house at this point, because he's very cold tolerant and it's getting pretty warm out. But isn't that a cute little rosemary? He's just a cutting I took off of my plant in the fall. Just stuck him in the cup of water because I didn't know what else to do with him. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to uppot our cuttings and hope for the best. Here's a little better view of those roots. Now, I'm not too worried about the rosemary. I'm going to go ahead and put him outside though today. I may just stick him in my green stock, to be honest. This one I am worried about, this cutting. And just think about it, guys. How long have I had these guys in a cup of water? Let's think. Late October. So we'll say I took them mid-October just for math purposes. Wow. 5 months living in water. Now, about a month ago, I did put a tiny, tiny little bit of fertilizer in this cup just to give them some food. So what I might do is just cut right there with the leaf node. See if I can get a new root going on this one, because I really don't think these roots look very viable. So we definitely put this guy into a cup of dirt today, and this guy, these two. And then we will just, I guess, cut these two. You can see the tops look different on these two as well. All right, let's get our soil in the cups. So I just realized that looks like I put an onion bottom, an onion root in here in this cup in the last week. And I'm wondering if that is what made a difference with these roots turning from white to black. I would have to do some research on that. I know there are certain plants that don't get along well with onions or alliums. Peas and beans being one. Not sure about basils. So I'm going to have to look into that. That is something new that I did do in the last, I'd say, 7 to 8 days. All right, so this little thingy holds 3 cups, 3 planter cups. So I'm going to plant the 2 that still have somewhat viable looking roots, and then I'll go ahead and put the rosemary on this side. And then, okay, so we're going to start with this guy. You can see he does still have some white roots. Doesn't look completely dead at the bottom. Has some green stem there. I am going to try to get as much as the stem into the soil cup as possible without bending or breaking the stem. Now in the summertime, when this plant is actively growing, I will just walk around and break off little pieces and just go stick them in the ground and get a whole set of new plants that way. Just like I would a marigold, I just break it off, stick it down in the ground, and it'll just take off on its own. I'm hoping that this guy will kind of grow some roots out of its leaf nodes that I can feel. Like there's a set right there. Hopefully there's a couple more sets under the soil here. So this soil has not been watered or wetted yet. As soon as I get this guy buried deep enough, I am going to go put him to soak up some water from the bottom. And then I'll probably water it in from the top as well. I'm going to put this little guy back where he was, which was my kitchen windowsill. And that is where he has lived since very late October, mid to late October, last fall. It's kind of a miracle that you can keep something alive this long just from a cutting. But that is how I propagate and overwinter these African blue basil cuttings every year. Last year it didn't work out too well. Year before it did great. Was there a year before that too that did great? This year, I don't know. What do you think? I think it'll make it. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing that video of the African blue basil. And I hope that you will come back in the summer and do a garden tour with me, because you will definitely see this plant in my garden. If I have to, if these guys don't survive, I will place an order for one plant and then take many cuttings off of that when I'm able to have this plant all over the garden, because the bees absolutely love it. One place I do order, I know has this in stock right now because I just got an email from them, is Colonial Creek Farm. Placed an order with them last year for a variety of different mints. And I was going to go ahead and order one more of these guys as backup, but they had sold out. But they're back in stock now, as well as the banana mint. I've really been wanting that too. So yeah, there is an option there if you can't find it locally. Just look online. Talk to you soon, guys. I hope you're having a great gardening week. Bye.